Good afternoon and welcome to Clarity TV again. I'm Barbara, this is Paul.
Good afternoon, everybody.
And we're set for part 2 of our brand new hot foiling system.
And it has been hot during the 10 o'clock show, wasn't it?
It certainly did kick in there. So thank you so much if you invested in this new idea of ours.
Yeah.
I mean, hot foiling's been around a long time.
It has.
But we've put our little Clarity spin on it.
And what a twist. It
Very
really,
good.
really is. I mean, it's definitely thinking outside the box, isn't it?
Literally.
Because traditionally, when you think of hot foiling, it's the line art, or it used to be words, wasn't it? It was like sentiments that you would hot foil.
That's right, that's right.
But then the idea that Barb came up with, as usual, like trap the scrap with the dies.
Yeah.
This is trapping the scrap, but easier with...
Really cool,
yeah.
really cool. So a lot of teamwork makes the dream work here. Darling Grace is in the building with yourselves. So if you have any questions, all the way next door.
In the office.
So if you have any questions, then please do post them here. Grace will filter them through to us and we'll try and answer them. We've got our own questions. I've been going for it, trying different things out, playing what if.
Yeah, and you asked the
shows.
question at the 10 o'clock show about die cutting.
Yeah.
So we've got a solution on that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So
really,
what should we do? Where should we start? Should we show our friends
what's
on offer?
Yeah. Do you want to go full screen or down the side?
What I'd also suggest is, just in case we've got any friends who are not sure where to shop or how to shop, perhaps we could just slow it down, travel gently, and have a little bit of housekeeping first.
Okay.
You're good at that, Paul.
Okay, so let's bring some details up on the screen. So this is the brand new collection. So when we bring you our Clarity Social TV shows, we bring up some details on the screen, and it gives you the 5-digit item number. It gives you a product image and then a description together with the relevant prices. Now, there's 2 ways in which you can order. You can either go to, which is here, the claritycrafts.com website. And on that front page, you will find a little button that says Clarity Social TV.
What colour is it?
It's the same colour as the one behind me. Lovely turquoisey colour, teal. Click in there, and everything we're bringing to you during the course of this particular live hour, if you're tuning in live, is in there. The various bundles available individually, stuff that we don't get the opportunity to share with you during this hour. So you can order from there, or alternatively, during the week, Monday to Friday, from 8 AM until 4:30 PM, you can call this number, 01732 868 215, where the lovely Sue, Jazz, or Pete will be there to take your order or answer any questions.
Yeah, and they're in the building with us here. So you'll be speaking to our friends that are all around us. Even if you call during the show, usually we can hear Sue laughing downstairs.
Yeah. Bang down on the floor. So there's 2 different ways, and you've got a catch up as well. So if you're not tuning in live, you can either watch via the Clarity Crafts YouTube page, where all of our social TV shows, from The Shack to Groovy Tuesday, Craft Alongs, they're all available on there. Or alternatively, on the website, if you go to the Catch Up and Craft, then it's all there.
It's all recorded and on YouTube too.
Yeah, it goes all the way back to October on the website. So
also, when we look at the prices here, we look at that top number, and you can see here 31814.
Yeah.
So that will be the product code. That's all you need to tell Sue. All you need to put into the search box if you're looking for that particular product, and that will
take you straight
to the product. Then, of course, you've got that $74.96.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about the club discount on that?
Club discount. So if you belong to any of our craft clubs, if you belong to 1, you'll get a 10% discount. If you belong to 2, you get 12.5%. And if you belong to all 3, where you're a Diamond Club member, you'll get 15% discount. So that means that item we've got on the screen at the moment, if you're a Diamond Club member, it brings it down to £63.72. Now, the laminator is $29.99 on its own. So when you look at it like that, you're going to get those 3 kits, which are $14.99 each, for
the balance.
Just over.
And the postage is paid, because all postage is free over
£35 within the UK.
There you are.
Absolutely. So,
there you go. And then, of course, we've got a point system, a loyalty point system in place too.
Yes.
So that's points automatically added to your account once the order is dispatched.
That's it.
So we're all.
And then sometimes we run. If you go for your collage workshop, that's coming up on the 25th of
Yeah,
June,
yeah.
then you get double points on that as well. So it's £30. You can have a look. We've got a section on the website for courses and workshops. Click in there, and it's £30 for that particular course.
Yes.
And it's double points.
And the thing about all those courses, all those online courses, 1, 2, 3 courses, even if the live sessions have been and gone, they're still beautiful, filmed, recorded tutorials and courses just ready for you to go
and
open the door and enjoy. And once you buy that key, you've got the key for life. So you can go in again and again as often as you like.
The way I describe it with Louise, it's like it's becoming a Clarity College, isn't it?
It is actually.
So when you think of the number of courses, so you enter that college, and depending on what course you're in, the way that I look at it, on the right-hand side is all arty and crafty with Barb, and on the left-hand side is all crisp and clean and groovy with Louise. So the first one was the lovely lighthouse collage.
Yeah, that's right, the paper collage.
Yep. Then the next classroom was the viaduct.
Yeah.
And then we move over to the left, and you had the groovy foundation course.
Yeah.
We come back onto the right, and you've got the landscape and stamping.
And they're all individual courses, so you're not committing to all of them. You just pick and choose which ones you want to attend. You pay for that key, in you go.
Yeah. And so it's becoming like that corridor now.
It's nice,
isn't it?
Yeah,
it's good. Really good.
And so the next one of mine, you're already working on the.
We're in the middle. About to do the
middle of the white work.
The white work one, but your one is that lovely collage landscape.
Yeah, the cottage. Yeah, and in that one, I'll be showing you how to use the die, which is a different process to the cutting.
Yes.
Yeah. And also how to use it with felt, how to use it with designer papers. We'll do 2 or 3 really nice projects that afternoon.
And that's
just one afternoon.
And it's smaller artwork. It's a 6x6, whereas the canvas ones are hand cut ones. But so definitely worth having a look. I'm sure Gracie will pop a link up onto that on the website.
Yeah. So. And what we're doing today then, Paul?
Hot foiling.
Okay.
So should we have a look at one of the kits? Maybe
I think that's a good idea. So yeah, just in case you weren't there this morning.
Gold. So we're going to go for silver. Okie dokie.
We've had a look at the gold. Each of the kits has art in it. They're like sampler packs within each of the kits, but they're all different in all 3, aren't they?
Yeah, and you can find, if you go to the product on the website, you'll see the designs that are in each of them. But they all consist of the same thing.
In essence, they've got the same content. It's just different colours and different designs. So, for example, let's look at the silver pack. Obviously, you've got the silver foil. So we've got 2 meters of the silver foil. Instructions on how you're going to lay it up when you feed it through the machine, because that makes all the difference.
It does.
But we'll get to that in a minute. Then, of course, we've got the bow wad papers.
So you get 4 of those designs, you get 2 sheets of each.
And we mentioned this, even though these ones are from the original, the only ones that don't work
of our existing products.
Of our existing printed products are the first of the set 1 and 2 of the bow wad papers. Yes. But these do work because we've printed them in-house. Anything that's printed here in-house now will hot foil beautifully.
Really beautifully.
Really beautifully. So we've taken some of the designs from sets 1 and 2, incorporated them into here so that you do have them at your fingertips.
Yes.
So those are the bow wad papers, which look absolutely fantastic, and we will show you those in more detail later.
Okay.
Now then, we've also got these 2 of each, haven't we?
Yep. So you're going to get 6. This is what we're calling the design sheets. A5 design sheets.
Yeah.
6 different ones, and you get
2 of each. So you get 6 of those, but double up.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can see here, as we're doubling up, you can see we've got a real eclectic mix of all the different clarity. And it's like a little jogger, really. It will remind you that everything that's got black here will go gold, or it will hot foil.
Depending on the foil,
yes. Yeah. So we're just showing you all the different designs, what we've got in the cupboard. It will be a real interesting mix. We've created really nice borders for you as well.
Yeah.
So those are the actual, that's the art sample with this set. But we were talking about doing more different ones, weren't we, on a monthly?
We were, yes.
Like having a monthly release. So every month we're going to bring out a new set of laser printed art.
Yeah.
That is exactly perfect for this job.
That's right, and more colour sheets, which you're about to show, and also the carrier sheets as well.
That's right. So you can see here, these are, for example, dark and dramatic, but they're in here with a good reason. Now, these are what we call, how many of these are there, Paul?
You get 5 different colours and you get 2 sheets of each.
So these are actual laser prints as well, but they're colour floods. And this is what you need to actually do the job that we came up with. We're going to show you with the bow wallpapers in a minute.
With the waist.
So just believe me when I tell you get 10 sheets of that.
Yeah.
And then you also get 8 sheets of this super fine wax carrier paper.
Yes.
Which is going to be absolutely brilliant for the job. You also get instructions
and top tips.
So that's it in a nutshell.
It is. So that's your silver kit.
That's the silver kit. Now, Paul had a brilliant idea, because he does.
We like a bit of storage.
We like a bit of storage. So I'm going to show you all 4 of them. Let's have a look. It's so nice. Looks good. So what Paul did was he chopped it up, didn't you, love?
Yeah. So what I did, I took the foil, because the foil's quite flimsy and it would be difficult to stick. So what I did was I hot foiled it onto a piece of that solid colour.
Yeah.
And then it's got more stability to it. And then I just use our tape runner to attach it.
And then you chopped up the A4 card and paper and the bow wobs. So it's all in here.
Yeah. So it just kept it nice and compact, and I can put bits in there, because you can chop up your designs when you're foiling.
So when you've got bits like this, you could just pop them in there.
Exactly.
Right? So you don't waste, and you know where you're going to find it. And it's not damaged, etc.
Yeah.
And if you've got bits that are ready to go, you just put them in there in the right box.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you may want to get another box just for all your offcuts of all your foils, if you wanted to.
Yeah. But in here, for example, if I just open this up, you can see we've got the foils, we've got all the cards, and then you've chopped the paper into A4s.
Yeah, I just found, for me personally, it was easier because I was working in smaller pieces. Yeah. So.
And then the carrier sheets, they go in there nicely too. Well, what a lovely storage solution. So we got gold, silver, and rose gold.
And this,
and then that's ideal. So Paul's got his rub-ons in there, complete with hockey stick. So we'll be looking at them. We're definitely entering our metallic range, aren't we? This is our metallic phase.
It is.
So that's rather nice too. And so we thought that it would be really cool to look at the bow wobs, didn't we?
Yeah, definitely. So in the 10 o'clock show, we concentrated more on the line art design. And we had a look at some of the bits. I mean, we looked at the negative and the positive, didn't we?
Yeah, which we're going to, that's right.
So we're going to do the same with the bow wobs. So Barb's going to go with the gold pack.
So if you have a look at what Paul's talking about, you can see here, this is what we've developed through the process.
Yes.
We figured out that whenever you gold foil an image, you end up with a really cool image in negative.
Yeah, like the two-way overlays.
So this is the outside of that.
Yes.
So you're always going to get 2
for 1
in the same piece. It's really, really excellent.
And it's that top quality foil that I think allows that to happen as well.
Yeah, well, and this one was the one that blew me away. So let me take that away. Right, let's have a look at this. So this is one of our really gorgeous botanical monoprint greeting cards. Right, so of course we've got these in all different flavors, haven't we?
We have indeed. And we've got a collection where you get the stickers. Just trying to
come out a little bit. So Paul, when he was playing at the open days for 2 days, he figured out that you can foil these beautiful cards really quite
because I wasn't sure, because we were working with black line art, I wasn't sure whether it would work.
But you're not losing anything. You're just adding that really elegant shimmer. You see, looks so
it's like
good.
What we were talking about, spot foiling, wasn't it?
UV spot.
Yeah.
So you're just adding that shimmer, but when you look at it full on, it's only when you hold it like that you get the glisten. You know, it's so nice.
And that's what I mean. I've used the silver on there. I've used the gold, the rose gold.
I know. You just keep looking at it. I was surprised that worked.
because of the contrast in the colours.
So glorious. So Paul used these, and what he came up with. Now I've lost the original. Where's the one that you did? That one.
Yeah.
Right. And then the negative, the waste, what we usually throw away, he did this with, which I just thought was so
Which is really
classy.
nice and subtle. It reminds me of lino print, that like the black ink.
Yeah. Or make a beautiful wedding card.
Yeah.
Just a glorious wedding card.
And that's the waste on that solid block of colour.
So we'll show our friends how we did this again.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Definitely.
Except this time we'll use the gold.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this on.
Okay.
You put it on.
So top quality laminator, it takes 3 minutes to heat up. If it's not used for 30 minutes, then it automatically cuts off. And it's also got a fantastic release button as well. So it comes with full instructions. But it's lovely. It just to work with. I mean, mine didn't get a chance at the open days to go into standby mode. I didn't even know it did it until I read the book.
So let's have a look at this, for example. And you can see here, this is what I'm going to use.
Yes.
So I'm using a sheet from the gold pack.
Yeah.
This is one of the Bow papers, A5, really nice. And then I'm going to use green for the second pass.
That's right.
Right, because I'm going to use the positive and the negative. It's really interesting when you see this. And I'll go with gold.
Yes.
I'm going to go for gold.
Go for gold.
And what I think I'll do, I'm going to open this up now. Let's have a look. And I'm just going to, that's the bit I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so.
That's it.
Yeah, I think, do you know what I'm going to do? Because I know I'm going to need this little bit of gold. I'm going to cut where the fold is.
Yeah.
I'm just going to cut that off because I want to use that, you know, for scraps and that. Yeah. So what's really important is what I'm cutting here, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you could use a craft knife to obviously cut this down. I found it was easier to use the scissors because there is a way in which you should feed it through your laminator to get the best results.
Yeah, so Paul, talk to us about that while I just...
Okay.
Yeah, this is important.
So in the instructions, it tells you that we can see Barb just took that piece off of the... because it comes carded.
So that's the straight side, and that's the side I just cut. You can see that.
So it's not completely straight.
Yeah.
So also, by using the scissors, you could cut a little bit wonky, so you know exactly what that side is.
Yeah.
Okay. And the idea is that you feed it through on the manufacturing edge that's been cut through the machine.
Yeah.
Especially when you're using the Bow papers, because it can really make a difference.
Yes.
As we found out.
Okay. Okay, so let's have a look. If we take a look at this, the next thing we need to do is we're going to not fold. It's not like that. It's that way around. And this is, if you like, that's the gluey side that's going to sit on there. I mean, this works on so many different surfaces, but let's just stick with this at the moment.
Yeah.
So now we've got our carrier sheet.
Yeah. So if you tuned in earlier, you'll see that what we did, we used a tape runner just to create a hinge across the top. So this is the factory side cut. Yes. And this is my cut. Yeah. So I'm feeding in at the top here, and I'm gonna put that in the machine. So what we want to do now is just so that you can see how it works. I'll leave a little bit of a rim, because what I'm going for is a beautiful full coverage. Yeah. I'm gonna foil the whole thing. So you can see there, that's like that. I can see where I'm putting that. That's going to sit on there nicely. That'll do perfectly. Yeah. Right. So that's all done. We don't need that yet. That's going to be the transfer sheet for the negative part. Yeah. So what I'll do now is I'll bring this in like so you can see that. And then we'll feed this through. We've got the green light. So we've got the green light so we can go. How long does it take to heat up, Paul? 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Yes. So we're just going to let that feed through. I'm holding it gently. Yeah. Just I wouldn't say taut. No. And now I'm going to just make sure it comes out the other side. There we go. There's a little release catch here. That's it. So how does that work, Paul? Okay, so if it decides that it doesn't want to come out the other end because you've gone into the middle of the carrier sheet, so it starts to wrap itself around, then whilst it's still moving like that... Did that happen to you a lot? Once or twice. Did it? Until I learned. And then what you do while it's still moving, you move that release switch and then you just gently pull it out towards you, and then it takes it out. Does it? Yeah. Just like it just lifts it so that you can pull it out towards yourself. It stops, yeah, but when I read the instructions, it said you should keep the machine on whilst you're removing it. So don't switch the machine off, because you think, I'm going to switch it off, and then that's what it says in the book. Don't switch it off, just leave it on, pull the release button. You need to hold it in place and then just gently pull it out towards you.
In each kit, we've got about 8 sheets of this, haven't we?
Yes, we
have.
And
we're also going to have we got backups for that, spares?
Yeah, so in the new kits we bring out, there'll be ones going in there as well.
I tell you why this is important, because it's so super thin and it's wax.
Yeah.
If it's too thick, the heat doesn't get through, it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't transfer.
Right. So now let's have a look what we've got here.
Here comes the magic. I love this.
So when I take this off, you'll see that there's a complete... But what's amazing, right, when I take this off here, right, it's this bit. Look at this.
That was the whole reason for you doing it.
This ended up, this is why we had a kit, right?
Yeah.
And all this is down to Andy Duggan's piece of artwork that he sent in for a completely different thing.
Yeah.
Right? So we take that off, right? What's brilliant is the coverage on that. So this is really, really excellent quality hot foil, isn't it? Look, you can see that.
I mean, look at the shine on that.
You until you actually do it, you can't see. We had several different manufacturers' foils in, and we tried them. Yeah. And this was streets ahead of the others.
It was. I mean, the ones they were either came to us too small, that weren't fit for purpose.
They tore. They were so flimsy, they tore.
That when you took the waist off, it did, and then you had to struggle to get the rest of it off.
So now we've got this, which is really, really amazing. So I looked at this when I first started, and I'll just put this on the back. And I thought, well, hang on a minute. Everything that's white here is gold here. Yeah. Look. And I thought, there's got to be a way to put that on a colour.
Yeah.
But it stands to reason that for this to stick, and it does stick as well. I mean, that's not going anywhere. That has bonded now, 100%. You can't get that off again.
No. And we've got to mention again, this is all on laser print machines. It won't work if you've got an inkjet at home. It won't work with that. If you may have a laser, Jilly's got one at home, but it didn't work with her when she was trying to print some stuff off.
It's and this isn't a con. This is just a fact.
Yeah,
we happen to have the all singing, all dancing digital printer downstairs, which is the one that you need.
Yeah,
and all the other printers around the building, because we're designers, they're all top quality Hewlett Packard.
Yeah,
big money, and so they all happen to work. But you know, so rest assured that anything that we're sending you from the digital printer downstairs works. Yeah.
So when you go to the show page on the website, I put all of our products in there that work. So if it's not in that section, but it's available, like the Bow Bob set 1 and 2, that's not in there because it doesn't work.
And the other thing is, as we were saying, from a design, you know, one of the best things about Clarity is, of course, we've got so many designs. We're a design company.
Yeah.
We've got 33 years of different designs. And I'm not saying that we're going to turn them all into laser prints.
No.
I'm just saying we're going to have a very good look at which ones would hot foil beautifully.
Yeah, and we've got plenty.
Yeah. And
we could do a release a day.
We could. But we thought we'd go once a month, didn't we?
Yeah, and we already know what's coming in July.
One of the good questions, and I asked the same question, was, can you get an ink pad?
Yeah.
You know, can you stamp like in Black Archival? Will that hot foil? No. Let's just say we're working on it. Okay, say no more. So now I've got the negative.
Yes.
See what everything that's white there got left here.
Yeah.
So in the past, that means that just gets thrown away, or you try and stick it onto the, you know, and I'm still not sure how you would do that, because it is literally like gold foil. It's very
so flimsy,
thin.
Isn't it?
I was watching an old boy on YouTube the other night, and he was transferring proper gold foil to a frame, you know, like a beautiful picture frame.
Yeah.
And I watched him, and it's crazy how they do it. It's so wispy thin. It's like leaf, gold leaf, and they get these brushes with fine long fibers, and they pick it up so carefully with water.
Like a static type.
Yeah. And they just dip it in water, and then they move it, and it's just so. I watched this old boy. I mean, he's obviously been doing it all his life.
Yeah.
But it was quite something, and I thought, I bet he would enjoy this.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do now is just lift up our sandwich, our wax paper sandwich, which has to be wafer thin. Thicker it gets, the less heat gets to the, yeah?
And it doesn't transfer as well. Because we tried, especially on this part, we tried copy paper, didn't we?
If it's got wrinkles in it,
yeah,
then it's not the gold foil, it's the wrinkles off the wax paper. But to be fair, I'm happy with this.
Because especially with the bow wobs, it's got that sort of artistic edge to it, hasn't it?
But you can see, I'm just showing you now, we're just going to show you now how glorious this looks. So again, we're just going to feed it in there. You see the green lights on. Piece of cake, lights, made in Germany, top quality. Dave sourced these.
Yeah. You have to source them again. Sorry, Dave.
Yeah, you will. He said, is it all right if they're a different colour? I said, I don't care what colour they are. As long as it says lights on it, you can have what colour you like.
Our friends at home will collect them. They'll have a pink one, a purple one for each foil set.
So these are really good. And I'm just holding it a little bit tight. I was just aware there's a little bit of a crease on the back. But that's okay. We'll see if I'm going to see what if I hold it taut, can I correct that?
Absolutely. And that's what we was asking at the open. Can you do this? Can you do that? Well, let's give it a go. Let's see what happens.
I think why do I want to do this? Why am I interested in this? You may be asking yourselves at home. I think what it does is it takes your existing stash and it elevates it.
Yeah.
It just takes it.
I think it gives it that professional look as well.
Oh yeah. And so for very little expense, really, you can really, if you've got bow wab papers, and we're going to show you all the other things as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff comes out of our from our printer, doesn't it now?
Yeah.
Right. So now let's have a look and we'll compare the. Look at the hats.
I mean, this is lovely. So there's two things here at this point. So this has still got a protective covering on it.
Yeah.
So you can leave it like that.
Which
and
is,
you get that lovely, I mean, you'll still get the shine.
It's matte. It's quite matte, is what you're saying?
Yeah, the green space, for example, there's a covering on it. So it's still got that lovely shine to it. It's not affected. But if you remove...
So that's the positive.
Yeah.
And that's the negative.
Yeah.
This is quite thin because it's a bow wab paper.
Yeah.
This is a bit thicker because it was a
made
thicker
it,
GSM
and it's
to
also
start
got
with.
colour on it.
Yeah. So go on, Paul. You were saying.
So because this has still got a protective covering on it.
Yeah,
because
believe it or not.
So you've got options. You can leave it on there and go with what you have, or if you remove it, then sometimes you get a lovely, real sort of grungy look.
So if I take that bit off, let's have a look at where there's a difference. Do you see a difference? Yeah, one's more vibrant than the other one. This is glossier, look, than that one. Yeah, you can see this got like a glass layer. It's like a filmer. Funny that.
a protective layer, yeah.
So if I take that off, it's gone high gloss.
So when you think now, that is what you're throwing away.
So now what we're throwing away is that. Absolutely nothing. Right, high five, Paul. Result.
That's it.
That's what I call... I bet if we thought about this long enough, we'd come up with a use for that as well.
Probably should.
But I really, really love the opposite.
Yeah.
And the point that what we came up with, and this was Jim, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He said, because I was holding this bit and going, well, hang on.
Can't throw that away.
Can't throw that away. And then he said, but you need laser. It needs to be back on a laser
to transfer
cover.
it.
So the whole thing has to be laser flooded.
Yeah.
Great expense, but fantastic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then once you've done that, what can you do with it? So there's a couple of pieces here.
Beautiful.
You know, I just love this. So this is the waist.
Yeah, that's this one.
Yeah. So that's that one.
These are just the bow wab papers.
Is the waist.
Isn't that glorious? Yeah, I mean, this is like Miri card, but top quality and yeah. How nice is that? Just with a sticker on it.
I know.
It's so easy to do. And it's very, very addictive. Look at that twofer. That one's nice. So that one is the positive and the negative. I love the way you've done that, Paul, because it really shows, look.
So on this one, what I did, I cut the little panel out first and just put that through the die cutting machine, through the laser machine.
With a tiny little bit of, like a
just
little square of gold, like that. Like that was it then?
Yeah.
Just like that?
So I did that.
Yeah.
And then the waist, I then put onto that lovely burgundy cerise colour.
Yeah, and chop that up.
Yeah. And then I chopped both that, and then I took some of the paper because it coordinated as and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
did the
yeah.
matting and layering. And then I used our lovely rub-ons.
So the rub-ons, so it's gold on white or gold on the red paper.
Yeah.
How glorious is that for invites or tags or?
Yeah. But that is just one piece of foil.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just a 2-inch square of foil.
Yeah.
So glorious, isn't it?
It's lovely.
Yeah, well done you. I really like that. I really like that, Paul.
It's really, and when you look at all the designs that you get in those sheets, some of them you get 2 on a sheet, some of them you get loads that we just saw. So it's down to you. If you want to just go with one image, so say you've gone for all 3 sets and you want to do some of the designs in different colors, then chop them up first. Barbara was showing how to chop them up earlier. Chop them up first and then run them through individually.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you don't have to do the whole thing in one.
No.
Just chop them up and then use the little tiny bits.
Yeah, I mean, even with the bow wobs as well, I cut some of them into A6 so I could get 2 for 1 out of that with different colors.
Yeah.
If you're going to go for a small piece, when you run it through the machine, you've got a piece folded in half over there, haven't you? The carrier sheets.
I have.
Yeah. So obviously you don't need to load it up into a full A4 sheet. So you could take one of those.
So what I did was I folded it, but I sealed it at that side
to give it that solid
so
edge.
it depends when you feed it through, depending on where the cut edge is. See?
Yeah.
I mean, on the smaller ones, it's not so important.
And if you're going to go for a tiny little piece,
there, I've sealed it on the side, so it's like that.
So it's sealed around 2 sides. Then
come out a little bit so you can see that. So I've taken one piece, folded it there, but sealed it on the side there.
And then, so if I was doing this tiny little square that I've cut out, obviously it's quite a large area. So all I did was put a piece of card underneath and then put my little topper with the foil on top just to give it a bit of stability. And
that didn't affect the heat?
It didn't affect the heat at all.
Because a card would be thicker than you would expect it to take.
And that's what I thought. So that's why I tried it.
And it worked.
And it worked.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. But having said that, if sometimes it doesn't work, right, then what Paul's just said is reduce the shims.
Yeah.
Right. We did work that out ourselves, didn't we?
Yeah, especially when you're putting it on top.
If it's not working, your gut reaction, because we're all trained to use die cutting machines, your immediate response is to pack it, to start adding more shims, more layers. Pressure. And the more you do that, the worse it'll get. Yeah. It needs to be thinner. So that's why these carrier sheets are wafer thin.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've had a question from Maria. What happens when you do a jelly print with alcohol inks on the paper? Now, we haven't tested the alcohol inks, but I know lovely Sam Crow, she was using at the open day, she was using distress inks and stuff like that on the jelly plate. And she managed, so I gave her some of these that I'd already foiled. She was pulling prints off, she was pulling the reflections off and different. But I'm guessing with alcohol inks, it may react to the foil.
I don't know.
But we don't know. We haven't had an opportunity to try
as long as the image that you want to hot foil is laser printed, it will work. What you're asking is if the backdrop is alcohol ink, then will that affect it? I'll have to try it. You try it, let me know.
Yeah, so it's whether you foil first and then put it on the jelly plate, or do it on the jelly plate and then foil afterwards. I'm guessing that'd be the better option because it's already protected.
Well, one of the other things that I really like is the postcards and the Poppets. So somebody asked us this morning whether the Poppets worked. So we've got black and white Poppet postcards that we print here, so that's a definite yes. And we've also got colour Poppet postcards, which we also print here. So that's also a yes. So then you ask yourself, so with the coloured ones, with the black and white ones, if I add the colour, do I do that before or after? Your choice. And then the next question is, if I use the coloured Poppets, will the gold foil completely obliterate the colour? No. So we thought we'd do a little demo with that, didn't we?
Yeah. Do you want to show those little pieces off there that when we was, because obviously we had to experiment as well, didn't we?
Did, yeah.
So to see, because if you tuned in at 10 o'clock, you would have seen the lovely pinky grey botanical cards.
So let's have a look at these.
And I wasn't sure whether it would work on those, and it did.
And you'll see here how, let me just get this going. This is where you realise that I'm there. You see the, so isn't it interesting? You can see where the shimmer is, right? The gold shimmer, but it hasn't affected the colour at all. Here we go. So you can see where they are laminated, but you can't, it's not affected at all. Here we go. Look, lovely. Look at that.
I know.
The gold, the rose gold, isn't it?
So this is
but
perfect
when you
for
hold
your
it like
scraps.
that, you've got your fantastic. So these postcards, where do we get these?
So these are our A4 sheets. These are our pocket poppets.
Should we have a look at them?
Yeah, we've got those just over here.
Let's have a look at them, because see, that impresses me that you can take these little coloured pre-printed. I'll say it again slowly. Laser. Did it just get hot in here?
It did get just hot in here.
Yeah.
It always
going out the window.
So if you go to the show page, you will find the various different pocket poppets. They're A4 sheets. Each of them have 6 different characters in them, and you get them in full colour and also in the black line art as well. So you get 12 A4 sheets. This is lovely artwork licensed from Marina Fedotova. So this is your Christmas collection. So
you can see these. So one sheet has got 6 of them on there?
Yeah, so one sheet will have that 6 complete designs on there.
So what I'm going to do is open this up.
Yeah.
At the risk of being rude, I want to show you exactly what you're going to get, because I think this is worth seeing.
Yeah.
You know, if we go into this camera now, so you can see here, just so you understand how much you're getting here. Right, and this is the same for all of them.
All of them.
There we go. Now let's check this out. So these are black and white.
Yeah.
And then in colour.
Yes.
And then black and white, and then in colour.
Yeah.
So you're going to get black and white colour every single time. And how many of these little images have we got?
So there's 6 different characters in each pack.
Look at that, though.
I know.
So you're going to get every single one. It feels like there were more than 6 there, Paul.
No, it's top quality. It's 300 GSM card. One.
It felt like more. 2, 3. You're right. 4. They're beautiful, aren't they? 5, 6. You're right. So you get 6 characters, but you get 12 of each, basically.
Yeah.
You get 12 of each. So then when we look at, that's the Christmas one, 31644.
Yeah.
And then we've got other ones as well.
Then we have our original ones. These are our flower ones. These are always popular. So the item number for this is 31642. Then we have our festive pixies, item number 31641.
Nice.
Then we have the lovely playful sprites, item number 31640. And then you've got your wishful whimsy, item number 31643. So these are your A4 ones in colour and in black line art.
Yeah.
But it all started off originally with the postcards.
These ones?
Yes.
So these are the postcards that we had before. So these are all printed by ourselves as well.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just throw a few more postcards at your way just to inspire you. So the Doodleology postcards.
Yeah.
Those ones are the ones that have got those fantastic designs by Cherry Green.
If you've got scraps of your foil, just lay it over randomly.
Oh, yeah. You know, you could chop this up into 6 pieces and have beautiful toppers.
Yeah, colour them in as well.
Crazy good. Okay, so you've got
number for that is 31520. Janice's work lovely.
Janice's would be
because
beautiful.
they're a lovely silhouette.
Oh my goodness.
I did one at the open day. I never got it back. She kept it. But I did that lovely one with the grasses.
Hot foiling.
Hot foiling.
31761.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. Ones. And then, of course, we've got the Pixie the Poppet postcards. So we've got loads of those, haven't we?
So it's the same. So you've got the same 6 characters. These are your Christmas. And there's 2 different sizes in each of these, which you'll share.
We'll have a look at them in a minute.
Then we've got Flower, 31095.
Yep.
Pixies, 31706. Then we've got the Sprites, 31705. And then finally, the Whimsy, 31094.
Excellent. And then, of course, last but not least, we've got all our printed quote postcards, which look pretty sharp.
They do.
They really look fantastic, don't they?
So set 1, item number 31432. And these are only like $5.99.
Yeah.
Then you've got Home Sweet Home. And you'll see when you go to the website,
it's best to go that way. If we go this side, then you can see what's in each each one. Should we do it that way
Yeah.
round? Right, so we've got 1 day at a time, 31432.
There you go.
Love that.
Nice. And that one's fantastic.
That's lovely to use with scrap as well. Then you've got Home Sweet Home, 31433, set 2. That's this one. Put the kettle on.
Perfect. Then you've got set 3, 31434.
Our Happy Place. Nice. Do more of what makes you happy. Art is what you make it. And there's, of course, there's stamps for all of these as well, aren't there?
Yeah. Then we've got our Christmas collection, 31456.
There you go. Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Christmas, a time for reflection. That's perfect. You could do that in different colours as well.
Yeah, very nice. Happy Near You. Love that.
Yeah.
Happy New You.
Happy New Year. Then we've got our set 5, which is Celebrations 1, item number 31648. Now, this is where on some of them, there's a lot more open space, isn't there?
Yeah, it's good for stamping into as well, isn't it? So that's a great one. Then
we have Celebrations 2, set 6, item number 31649.
Love it. Happy New You.
Hip,
you
hip.
make me happy.
Congratulations.
Hip, hip, hooray. I thought you were going to break in song then.
No, I can't do a cliff. And then 31791. So these are the more later release. You Are Brilliant.
My favourite.
And look at this.
Nobody is you. That is your power. We did that this morning, didn't we?
Yeah, I think you are brilliant. What a treasure you are. Be unique. Be you.
Ding dong.
Yeah. So that's one of the samples.
That's in the pack, isn't it?
In that pack. And
comes
then
out
the final
fantastic.
one is You Are the Star, item number 31754. And I am, I can, I will. I always see that as kill. I am, I can, I kill. So when the I plays on it.
I am, I can, I will.
I will.
Perfect.
In my film, You Are the Star. So you could do that star in a different colour.
Yeah, you could be very specific about what you do, can't you?
Absolutely.
So let's have a look, because this is a question now. Let's take, I've already done one of these. Let's do another one. So these are the little coloured ones.
Yeah.
These are then you've got large postcards and small ones in these sets. Really excellent.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is take one of the small ones. So it's not the big one. It's the small one in the postcard, but it's still smaller than this one.
In the
larger than that one,
yes.
So I'm taking a black and white one because the question I've asked myself, and I answered it before we went live, is what happens when you want to colour it in?
Yeah.
Does it go dull? When I use Dorso or when I use blending pens? What if I use blending B pencils from the Pergoliners and then I want to use Dorso oil? Does it affect the gold leaf or the hot foiling?
Yeah.
So let's have a look. Let's see what we've got. So I'm going to go with this one. Right, because then the next question is, do I cut a piece that big or what do I do? You know, so that's so let's just put it through its paces. Right,
Okay.
so I've got that. I'm going to go with a smaller one.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with this. Then I'm going to take my gold and I'm just going to take a little bit of gold. I don't need the whole thing.
No. And
so
when you're working with the cardstock, it's not
bits like
that important in relation to the direction at this point. It's more important on the bow wallpapers because of it's a thinner material.
Well, and also this is such line art. Yeah. I'm not going to use the negative on this.
No.
Because it won't work. It's too flimsy.
It's too fine.
And you wouldn't see it very well.
Too much gold.
I think so. I would use that on top of, let's say, one of the postcards where it's grungy and I just want a little flash of gold here and there. And, you know, that's where you use that. Or when you're you're doing the trick with this and you want a bit of scrap gold. Yeah. So you never waste it.
No. No,
you never waste it.
But there's an image on there that I'm never going to use, but it's still
you're still going to use the gold leaf.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is with this now, I'm just going to use a little piece. I don't need, see, I could pop that on there and that'll do as well. Do you see? So it's how much do you want to put on it? But I'm just going to go there. That'll do. Right. So now that's sitting in there. I'm going to put it in my little, I think I'll come out a little bit so you can see it better. So I'm going to pop it in there. Actually, I'll put it further to the top. Well, how long is it before this machine cuts out, Paul?
30 minutes.
Okay, well, I'm sure we're fine. Good. Well, then in that case... As long as the
green light's on, you're good to go.
Right, green light. So we'll go in here. Gold is up, facing up.
Yeah.
and then it goes, and you just let it do its own thing. See, the card is a little bit thicker than the paper, you see?
Yeah.
The postcard.
So it's
but
got
it's
more
still,
stability.
Yeah, but it works beautifully.
Oh, yeah.
So, and this is, I think, where the quality of the laminator starts to, obviously it's heated from top and bottom,
Yeah.
but the top is sufficient because it's not coming through the bottom on 300 GSM card, that's for certain.
Yeah.
So good to know.
Yeah. That's why I found when I was using the smaller pieces, just a bit of card underneath, just to give it a bigger surface.
It does work, doesn't it?
Worked, yeah.
Yeah. So you can feel it's warm, still hot.
Yeah.
Not hot to burn, but hot enough that you know that it's
really, when you
heated.
get a laminator, it has
That's quite
the heat.
warm, you know.
Laminator has the heat on both sides because it's normally sealing pouches, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it has to apply the heat on both sides.
Exactly. So you can see where it's held it, where it's folded.
Yeah.
Right. So let's have a look.
Now we've got
and then we take this
I love
off.
This part.
And you see, we've got our little girl, and we can see her there as well. She's there. And you could if you wanted to, but she's very delicate.
Too much gold.
Too much gold.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on it, Paul. But if I hold her there, you can see exactly what's happened, can't you?
That's beautiful.
Isn't it? So we've done that. So I've got a suggestion now. If I were to colour this one in, right? I'll colour this in, and I'm going to use pergoliners.
Yeah.
Because this is what I want to do. I want to make sure that it works.
Yes.
Okay. In the meantime, while I'm doing that, because we haven't run one of these through the machine, have we?
No, I can run one through.
So let me get started with the pergoliners, and then I'll move out to the side and go into colouring mode.
Colouring mode. Super.
So I'm going to use my pergoliners, and I'm going to go with the B pencils.
Yeah.
So I'm just using these colours, those four. When I say B pencils, I'm talking about the blending pencils, the oil-based pencils, because I want to know if I can spread these out with Dorso oil without affecting.
Effect on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I don't try it, I'll never know. Will it make the gold go dull when I go over it with?
Because it's like it's not a chemical, but it's
it's an oil,
liquid,
isn't it?
Yeah.
So how about I just get started?
Yeah.
And then I'll let you get on with this.
Okie dokie.
So let's take a look at this, and I might come in a little bit closer so that you can see better what I'm up to. Okay. So let's say I'm going to just do a little bit of colouring in. Right. So I can see the gold is absolutely right. So as for colouring in, I'm just going to go straight over the gold. I'm not going to worry that I'm going to affect the gold, because I've already tried it, friends, and I know that it doesn't. Okay. So I'm going to go over there like so, and I'm going to add just a little bit of gold, colour.
You've got gold and silver.
Gold on my mind now. Right, so I'm just going to add a bit of colour, and what I will do is I'm going to decide which colours. Right, so I'll put a light colour in so that I need to identify what's the jacket, what's the skirt. You know?
Yeah.
So from a colouring point of view, it's good just to put a light layer in so I can see. So that there, that's a rose. Let's call that a rose. That there's a collar. So I'm going to make, I know it looks a bit weird, a combination of peach and blue, but it looks so nice when it's done, okay? Right, so we put a bit of blue. I'm going to put a little bit of blue in there as well. There you go, like that. So I've got and then I'm going to go blue on the skirt. So again, I'm just going to make sure that right, so what I'm going to do is just make sure that I get the skirt circular. I see how I'm going around in circles. So it's nice because I've already added the gold leaf. I'm going straight over the gold hot foil. I'm not worried about affecting it.
Not flaking off.
No,
like
no.
Sometimes you'll get foiled
You'd think that
images.
it might. Yeah.
Yeah. I think because it's heat transferred, it's not embedded into the card, but it's literally stuck fast.
I think it's also the quality. So let me ask you a question. If I coloured this in first and then hot foiled, it wouldn't make a blind bit of difference, would it?
Not at all.
It would be that way or that way.
Yeah.
Both would work, right?
Yeah.
So that's good to know. So once I've done that, and I've established, let's see, I'm going to go light on the wings as well, a little bit of blue on the wings. And then I think what I'll do is I'll blend the colours. Let's take a bit of that peachy colour. What number's that? 10. And this is 16. Okay. Right, so now I'm going in with a peachy colour, and I'm just adding a blend. So this is interesting how these two colours blend quite nicely. Don't they look good together?
Yeah.
I know, you wouldn't think so, would you?
Not at all.
So what I'll do now is I'll take the bull by the horns. I'm going to put a little bit on the cuffs as well. And maybe, I don't know, what's that there? What do you think that is there? I think it's just a swirl. I don't think it's actually a part of her dress, okay? But you can see how you just add a little bit of colour, little flash, changes colour. Interesting, isn't it? So then I'm going to add a little bit of shade, and now I'm going to move out the way. So you can see I'm going to get some depth going, and I'll add a little bit of depth in these areas here, right, in the creases. Same colour, I'm not adding a different colour. I'm just going to add some depth.
Just a little bit more pressure to darken the colour.
That's all. Just add a little bit of depth, and you'll see that it starts to change really nicely. And then in the socks, like, or the stockings, just...
I love that sort of just using two colours just to bring an image to life. Yeah.
And then we're going to go with peachy shoes. Let's go peachy shoes. And then, see, it doesn't say, I think the thing about Marina Fedotova's artwork as well, what I like about it is because it's so sketchy, you can afford to be sketchy with the colouring as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with a little bit of red on this as well, just to add a little flash of red, right? So it changes it a little bit too. So we can watch the red and the orange really nice together as well, right? So now you're changing that colour a little bit too. It's really nice to do. And so you build up. I'm going to go on here and add a bit more on the hat. I'll just carry on doing this for 10 minutes.
We've had some questions come through.
And you can take over, Paul.
Yep.
So I'll move out of the way.
Right. Okay. So some questions. So Grace is very kind for lovely Debbie Berry is in the building with us.
Hey, Debbie from Texas. Hello, gorgeous.
So sorry, I just tuned in. Obviously, she's been doing other stuff.
Hello, Debbie. What time is it in Texas?
Whenever I hear Texas, I think of Beyonce now, that song.
I know. We'll be there on the 21st in Paris.
Absolutely. Does the metallic paper adhere to the ink? Yes. So the printed images have been printed on a laser machine. It will only work with laser printed images. And what happens is that when the foil gets put on top and it goes through the laminator, it transfers the foil onto the printed line art. So it doesn't stick to any of the white card because there's nothing for it to adhere to. Okay, so that's that one. Apparently it's 8:53 in the morning, according to Gracie.
Good morning, girls.
Then we have lovely Leslie Earring. If you are painting onto an image like this poppet, does the foil keep the paint inside the lines like heat embossing does? I would say, I mean, we haven't tried it, but they're not raised lines, are they?
No,
like you would
it's
on
flat.
here. So I think you would just need to be a little bit careful. If it went on the gold line, then when it's completely dry, I would take just a tissue and you could probably just sort of buff off any sort of paint that may be sitting on the line art. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was the answer to those lovely questions.
Yeah,
so
it doesn't leave a gutter.
No.
It isn't a gutter.
Yeah.
It literally bonds to
the flat line.
Yeah. Although I bet if I were to use watercolor, Leslie will understand what I mean. I bet that the line art, even the laser line art, creates a kind of osmosis.
Like
it creates a kind of a wall,
a barrier.
You know.
Yeah.
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 And I'm sure that it would do the same thing. I'm still on the hat.
This like question time.
I love it.
Lovely Ken. Good afternoon, Ken.
Hi, Ken.
I hope you're feeling a little bit better. When you hot foil the botanical cards, do you open up the cards to go through them
Good
through the
question.
laminator. Yeah, I did.
would.
I literally opened it completely flat because when you look at the back of the cards, if I show you, I'm going to come in on the overhead. Let me just come in here.
I would definitely do that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because what you could do, you could actually catch the back as well if you wanted to. So you could foil the logo on the back. So yeah, make it completely flat,
what a good
like
idea.
so. Let me just zoom out a little, just like that. Put it on the larger carrier sheets, bit of foil on there, color of choice, and then you just feed it through as normal. But yeah, it's definitely flat because there will be obviously some resistance. But I mean, look, I mean, that shimmer, I was really surprised. I wasn't sure whether it would work on these at all.
Crazy good.
But it did.
Crazy good, Paul.
And then during the 10 o'clock show, Barb asked about die cutting. I said, oh, I haven't had a chance to try yet. So would you laminate, like, would you put the foil onto one of the solid colors and then laminate it and then die cut it? So I tried it. Okay. If you do that, so you take one of the colors, you put it onto one of the laser flooded pieces of paper.
Nice.
Run it through to bond it. You take the protective covering off and you do your die cutting. It's just the same as die cutting a piece of cardstock. So all the bits that fall out will all be foiled. So if you wanted to do the paper piecing, then that's great. However, if you die cut the laser color flooded paper first, like this, I'm going to show you. I took one of Barb's favorites, the Chinese lanterns. So this is one of the papers that comes in the kit. So I did that. I die cut that first. Then I cut a piece of foil just slightly bigger, popped it on there, put it in the carrier sheet, and it gave me this. Okay, so now I've got a lovely super foiled topper. Okay, but interestingly, when I then peeled the foil off, I then got the waste. So with the waste, I then put that onto another piece of the color flooded paper. So it's sort of, you've got that 2 for 1 as well. And it was so lovely to do because now I've got 2 cards instead of laminating it first and then die cutting.
It's great, Paul.
It really is. So all of our dies you could do this with, because it's the waste that normally Barb would do the trap the scrap, you can then transfer onto those lovely solid color papers.
So you're using everything now, aren't you?
Just like we are with the bow transfer
and
as
you're
well.
using, yeah, what a great idea. And whether you just use the papers on their own, but look at that.
I know, it's mad, isn't it?
And what's nice is the thinness of it. It's not thick mirror card. It's nice, usable.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
There we go. Have you finished your colouring?
I have.
Going back there.
I have. Right, there you go. And there's one I did earlier.
Wow.
So there's the colours that I used. So what a lovely little pair. You know, interesting that those colours would work together. Just jot it down, because sometimes we always go traditional, but B16 and B10 with a little flash, because it's Christmas, a little flash of the green and red, B6 and B11.
Nice.
Right? Nice, isn't it? So can I just show you how, so I wanted to see if this would move or be affected if I used Dorso oil and a blending pen. Because it's a question that you're going to ask. You wonder whether it's going to go dull, don't you?
Yes.
You would? I would.
Yeah, of course you would, because you're not sure, because although it's foil and you've got the toner ink underneath, whether it creates some sort of reaction.
Yeah. And this is like big areas. Okay, but can I show this one?
Yeah.
So if you look at what Paul's done here, you'll see he's taken one of those lovely flower images of ours, right, which is in one of the kits.
It is,
right? And then he's added colour after?
Afterward, I did mine afterwards,
And did you use blending pens?
No, just, it was the B pencils. But
same thing.
Yeah, but I didn't use any Dorso, just coloured.
Just fabulous.
Yeah.
So you do that before or after, it's up to you.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is there's obviously absolutely no effect.
to the
It hasn't
foil.
affected that.
No,
and it
because I
hasn't
went
affected
over the foil with the pencil.
Yeah, well, you always have to, because
Yeah.
it's so busy, isn't it? There's
Yeah.
so much line art on that. But if we go with this one now, right, let's have a look. We're on this new one here. Let's come in really close so we can see how, because I think a lot of our friends, maybe Dorso oil is a new thing for them as well. So you can see how I'm moving the red and the orange together and how it's changing the colour. It smooths it out. Can you see this?
Yeah.
And it looks like
a pen now, doesn't it?
Yeah. It looks like a printed poster rather than a penciled in. Yeah. So where we've always said, and I'm going over the gold lines on this as well, just so you know, where we've always said, you know, the pencils, because it's perga this and perga that, these work so beautifully on card as well. Look how nice this looks.
It looks as if you've either painted it or used pens to colour in.
Yep. Just gently does it. But you see how the red and the orange just blend together really beautifully. And then as far as the wings, I would leave them right where they are. I wouldn't
to give the contrast of the sort of the more smoother.
They look more
natural.
like gossamer, or
yes.
you know.
Yeah.
And then the skirt, for example, just as a little, let's colour it. Let's do a little bit of colouring here. Yeah. So I've got choices. I can go into the blue. See, it goes a bit darker where I'm putting the oil, but then as I move into the darker blue, look, see how it moves it down?
Yeah.
That will dry light again.
Yeah.
Okay. If I come in at the top and bring it down like that, I'm going to make this darker as I go down.
Yeah.
So the trick is to start at the base and then work your way up.
So
and as
light into dark.
Yeah. And then that way you're getting that beautiful smooth blend. Look, and I'm going straight over the gold. I'm not worried about that because I've already established that it doesn't affect it at all. I've done that. But I'm moving into the blue, into the darker colour. That way it stays dark at the top and I get the contrast. When the oil dries, it will dry light blue again.
So it's not diluting the darker area, as you say, bringing that darker area
exactly
further down.
And then all the little bits, all the little areas like this, you want it to stay blue or white, then you if I pulled that over into the white, I'd have one solid blue box.
Yeah.
It's obvious, isn't it? So you've got to know which way you're moving. And when you've got colours like blends like this, then just tread gently, you know, and be aware of how orange or blue your nib is now, because that will affect. If I'm going in here, look how it changes
intensifies the colour.
Do you see?
Yeah.
It intensifies the colour and it smooths it out. So it's almost like a, see now I'm going in with a blue on red and I'm getting purple.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
As soon as I do that, I'm going to adjust the colour. So you just got to know that that's what happens. But how beautiful is this and when we lift this up, if we offer this up now to the camera on that one, you'll see.
Look at that.
The gold is gold.
Still
it didn't
there,
move.
Isn't it? That's like one of those magic wands going across the picture, is it?
Absolutely. But the postcard, the smoothness of the bee pencils is quite something too.
See, at this point it looks black, but it's not. It's deceiving because it is. Look,
it's still very gold.
Yeah.
Very gold indeed. Okay.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Nice, eh?
Yeah, and I think, I say, if you go to the show page, everything that's in that show page that you may have at home or you want to pop into your basket will work with the hot foiling, with the foils that we've got, with the kits. You can get the gold, the silver and the rose gold on its own as well. The instructions are also on the back of those individual foil packs as well, just as a reminder on what way to run it through the machine.
That's it. The instructions are fantastic. What Jim wrote on it is really
excellent. And I mean, it's not something we just throw together, and there's a lot of thought and going in and experimenting as well.
Absolutely. So this has gone into mute. So I'll turn it off.
Gone into mute.
It's gone into
standby.
Standby, not mute.
The TV mute. They're probably muting us at home. And if you're not sure, try it. Just take a small piece of foil and keep those scraps. Where was that dress that I showed you earlier?
Oh, it was really lovely. That's it there.
Yeah,
where you split the dresses.
Just on
this
there.
Is so clever. let me show you on this camera so you can see. You see the different colours that
Because
he's
again,
used?
somebody said, "Oh,
Look.
can you just put different colours on?" I said, "Oh, well, let's try it."
So it looks like it's all one colour, but it isn't. There's silver, gold, and
the
rose gold all in there. Look,
Yeah.
see it? Rose gold. Silver looks almost blue on the black.
Yeah.
And then gold at the top with silver. It's very nice, Paul.
And somebody just asked whether you could do it, and I tried it, and it was just random pieces of scrap and foil.
I think also the whole thing with this new Clarity Move is that it's a new, relatively inexpensive way of elevating your artwork. If you make cards to sell, you know, bling sells well.
It does.
That's the fact.
It's that little bit of extra.
And it's the same with the rub-ons, because we were going to take a rub-on and just add it to this card as well. So, and then we'll finish on that note, because we're on the bling thing.
Bling bling. So, should I get my slow down box? See what I put on the edge of mine, so I know it's my
fancier cuppa. Nice. Look, that is so
I know
cool.
That's my rub-ons in there.
Slow down with clarity. Okay, so I'm gonna take this girl. I'll probably cut this down. So I'll cut it down to here.
Yeah.
Right. In my head.
Yeah.
Right. I'll take this one, or I could take the one that I've just done. It's like 6 1/2 dozen the other. So if I were making card, let's say, for a Christmas fair or something like that. So I've got my postcards, I've coloured them in, I've gold foiled them. Now I've got my rub-on transfers. So you can charge a pretty penny. When it's bling, the price goes up.
Definitely.
I'm telling you now.
How do they
do that? Because it's not embossed. And then when you go to the rub-ons as well. So let's see, I've got birthdays, you've got Christmas, you've got Can we get them all out?
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
Got the lolly sticks at the back.
They come with the lolly sticks, but the hockey sticks definitely what we recommend.
The item number for the hockey stick is 70001.
So we've got birthday sentiments. You get 3 sheets in each pack, and they come in black, gold, and white.
Yeah.
Black, gold, and white, not silver. The white's fantastic on parchment.
But also on craft cards.
Look at that. Doesn't that look gorgeous? Wow, that looks so classy, Paul. Doesn't it?
It is. It's that little finishing touch, not only with the foil.
Yeah. So I've got all occasions. I've got Christmas. I've got friendship, and I've got anniversaries and weddings. Nice. I love it.
Decisions.
Yeah. Hey, isn't that so lovely?
I know.
So happy for you. Just married. You're my soulmate. It's our day. So while it says anniversaries and weddings, it's just the love one, really, isn't it? It's love and celebrations. The friendship one's really cool. I'm going to go vanilla and stick to birthdays, because that's really... But having said that, I'm just going to cut out hope you have a great day.
Yeah.
Now, one of the most important things you were telling me about, you cut out the bit that you use.
Yes.
Right, rather than leave it on here.
And because it will transfer if you lean on it and everything else. So they've all got the protective sheets on the back.
And they've also got a really good
rigid
pack. And if you keep them in the slow down box, they'll last you ages. So then what we're going to do now, I'm thinking I'm going to pop this one on here. I think that will look so nice there.
Look at that.
Looks classy.
I'm going to give you a black mat, because it's easier if you work on a black mat rather than on a hard work surface.
So if I'm going to pop that on there like so, right, I want that to set. I want that to stick, don't I? So then I'm going to just start.
So you're going to take the backing off, because it's still got your protective cover until you get your positioning.
Right. So then I'm going to take... I wonder why it wasn't sticking. I thought, this ain't working. Why is it sliding
Why is it moving around?
Okay, so you take that bit off.
Yeah.
That's better. I like it. Because I was thinking, well, last time I did it,
it didn't move. Yeah. It's been a very long 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. From TV months. From October onwards.
And I just had a moment there.
Thinking, oh no.
Oh no, what have I not done? Right, done that. So you can see what it's going to look like before you even start. And then if you don't like it, you can move it. I love it. But if you're not happy with where you've put it, you can lift it up again.
Yeah. As long as you haven't pressed it too hard.
Yeah, all right. Like I did, you mean?
Don't move it.
Now it's in place.
Yep.
No pressure, friends. And then we're going to use the flat of the hockey stick. And we're just going to go for it.
Then you can see it changing colour on the overhead.
You can you?
Yeah, as it's releasing.
Yeah, you can. It's going matte.
Yes.
But we're not going to lift it off and then decide we're missing half a D.
No.
Right. So we're going to, you can see it going matte as you do this, can't you?
Yeah. And it depends on what colour that's behind it and the colour that you're using, whether it's the black or the white. You'll get different looks to it. Some colours, you really see it sort of being released from the carrier.
Yeah. The black one, I think.
Yeah.
But this is going to look so nice. So if I come in here, right, what you're using is that part of the, isn't it?
I mean, the the lollipop stick is great, but I found because I cut it to size, and I was applying the pressure, if the lolly stick went off the edge of the little plastic, it caught. Whereas with the hockey stick, it doesn't because it's smooth.
So let's go in tight. Come on, in for a penny. Right. So what's the cost of these?
They are £7.49 each.
Oh,
and we have a collection where you get all 5 of the different packs.
Look at that.
And I should be able to bring that up on the screen.
And there's your gold. And you know what? It's not glossy gold. It's matte, classy gold.
Yeah, it's an elegant gold, isn't it?
So now we've got our gold. We've got our beautiful sentiment. We've got our gold line.
I mean, that's shop bought, isn't it?
It is.
It really is.
It really is. And then you get some companion paper. Maybe that orangey colour looks so classy.
Yeah.
Embedded.
Yeah. Job done.
Good quality card, and with very little effort, and really classy.
Yeah.
How's that?
And if you're not into your colouring, we've obviously got the A4 version where they're pre-coloured as well. So you could give the uncoloured ones to the children or the grandchildren to colour it, keep them occupied for ages. Grace has just reminded me, please tell the viewers to go answer the hashtag #MyClarityFave post on Clarity Worldwide and Groovy Worldwide. And apparently it asks, what is your favourite product or design?
This week.
Yeah, this week, today.
Yeah, Grace and I were talking earlier, and she said, what about this for an idea, Mum? We could, every Friday, we could say, what's your favourite Clarity product?
Yeah.
And then we could have a little draw or something, couldn't we?
Yeah. And I think Grace has put it up there, so you do your hashtag, and I put you can link back to the product on the website.
Link back to the product.
I bet there'll be a lot of links for this today.
I bet there'll be a lot of links. And Grace and I will have a little chat about it. And then I think that we'll come up, Grace is really good at this, a gift, something you link.
Yeah.
We'll find a random winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that every Friday. That'd be quite a nice way to end the week.
It would, yeah.
Yeah.
Fave Friday.
Favourite Friday.
Hashtag #MyClarityFave, FAVE. So check out the Facebook pages.
Also, do you know, that reminds me when you go to the dentist, Nigga. When you're watching on YouTube, or when Jim's the expert at this, it's about like and follow, isn't it?
Yes.
You know,
and sharing.
If you like, follow, and share what we do, then we'll automatically, if you sign up for our newsletter as well, then you'll automatically be linked up to where to find us as well, which is really good. You know, often in the shack, I find friends can't find, you know, because you look it on Facebook, it's not on that page, it's not, because we've got so many different pages.
I mean, I think many of our friends now, because they have the super duper TVs, where they watch YouTube on the TV. Yeah. But the chat goes on in the Facebook group, doesn't it? All the banter and stuff.
But let's just slow this down a bit. For our friends, obviously, our friends that are watching have found us.
Yeah.
But if you were signed up to our newsletter, which you do via the website, then we automatically send you an email, right, which says, we're going live here, click this link, and you're there.
Yeah. Well, I think it takes you to the website.
There you go. Bingo.
So it takes you to the website, and it broadcasts on the website as well.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
So if you're not a fan of Facebook, for example, but you want to watch,
Yeah.
you can go straight to the website,
And watch
Safe
it there.
as Houses.
Absolutely. And
No.
you can shop and watch at the same time. I know many of you can multitask.
So what's happening this weekend, Paul?
Well, apparently you and Grace are going lap dancing at Charing Cross in London.
We're not going lap dancing. We're going to an afternoon rave for the over 30s.
And you're also
Janice
going to the
Phillips's
gallery
fault.
as well, aren't you? At
We're going to the
V&A.
V&A.
Yeah. What exhibition's on at the moment?
Cartier.
Cartier. Ooh.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Diamonds are forever, so they say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then you're back in the shack on Monday at 10 o'clock with a new.
Depends how it goes at Charing Cross.
Don't forget the arches.
Steady.
Yeah. So you mentioned last night something new.
Oh
on
yeah.
Monday.
Beautiful backgrounds, alcoholic background prints, really nice.
2 o'clock.
If you're into your landscapes, if you're into your landscapes,
you gave a
you'll
sneaky
love
peek
these.
last night, didn't you, in the shack?
I don't know. I don't know. Everything's a blur.
And does the foiling work on them?
It does, Paul. You tried it.
Yeah, of course I did. We print them.
And then you can start look at because we printed them.
Because we printed them.
Yeah.
So this is the same as the landscape toppers and tags.
Look. So these are the alcoholic. I mean, when you see them, you think, what's that supposed to be? But I tell you what, when you stamp into these, when you start making landscapes with these, you will be blown away.
Yeah. And it gives it that lovely shimmer.
And it gives it that beautiful shimmer, which doesn't affect the stamping at all.
No.
So that's really, really a game changer as well.
Look at that.
So you can get some fantastic artwork. And so on Monday at 2 o'clock, that's what we'll be doing, is we'll be taking these and stamping into them and creating little landscapes.
Yeah, because we've got a lovely little stamp set of your favourites.
Yeah.
Build the landscape favourites.
Yeah, we used them.
Different ones.
Yeah, we got them. We put them together for the workshop at the retreats.
Yes.
Because I want the birds from that one, I want the trees from that one, I want the bird, that church, that windmill, and in the end you've spent about 200 quid on just to make one. So I said, I'll tell you what we'll do. Why don't we put all my favourites in one little A6
from
set?
this collection.
It came out really nice, didn't it?
It did, yeah. So we're back at Monday, say 10 o'clock in the shack. And
for something completely new.
Yes.
Because we've done the alphabet now. It only took 1.5 years.
That's all right, and now it takes as long as it takes, doesn't it?
It does. It does indeed.
So something new when Barb's finished up at Charing Cross. Maybe there could be some inspiration there. Who knows?
Dancing,
absolutely. And then 2 o'clock on Tuesday, and then Barb will fill you in on Monday.
I'll fill you in, he said. Did you hear that?
Fill you in on Monday of what we've got planned for the week ahead.
When we've worked it out, we'll let you know.
Thank you as always. A lovely. Oh, apparently Grace said diamonds are not forever.
Or you can collect them.
Sounds someone talking from experience. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll be back with you on Monday. Thank you, lovely Gracie, as always.
Lots of love. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Where's that?